Hey, everybody. Welcome to another Human First AI Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Montague, and my guest this week is Måns Näsman. He's from Sweden, and he loves to talk about AI entrepreneurship, and so that's what we're going to do this week. He tries to introduce entrepreneurs and AI programmers all around the world. He interviews people on the podcast. He has the Share McFlare project with an AI OS. But, Måns, we like to start with the human first here, and you have this cool perspective on dualistic AI, which I wanted to jump right into and talk about because I think it is a really cool human first approach. Can you tell me the difference between an individualistic AI and a dualistic AI?
Yes, Mike. Thank you very much for having me on the show. We've been looking forward to this a lot. We know you do awesome work. And yes, we love talking about the dualistic AI. So what we see is a lot of individualistic AI today with ChatGPT, Siri, Copilot, Alexa. And what I mean with individualistic is that it's one person asking one AI and gets one response. So then it's the end of it, and then you can talk, then you can have more questions. Of course, the AI will remember, so you can continue on your topic. But for dualistic AI, we are seeing a really benefit of having multiple users talking to multiple AIs. So how would the use case work for that? Then you talk to the AI, and the AI answers. And the AI has sort of a built-in, if you want it, you can call it CRM and project management system, so that the AI will help you to know what's going down, what the goals are, and what you want to do. So the AI will respond and help you to move forward to achieving your goal. And it will, when needed, it will connect to other people and bring them in to also be in the voice communication. It can be your family. If you have a startup, you can ask for a startup team, and the AI will start bringing in team members. If when you created your product, you can ask the AI to get 10,000 customers, and it will go out and start finding those. And when it does match you up, it will use its CRM project management system so that you can have really productive teamworks and sales sessions with like 10,000 people without any problems, because the AI will help you. It will keep track of where you are in all the discussions. So there are a number of different use cases, but those were two of them.
Yeah, I love this idea because it's something that I hadn't thought about yet, which is most of the time we're even seeing these kind of what I call like micro tools where we have this AI designed for this very one specific thing, creating a YouTube thumbnail or something like that. And you said one person goes in to get one very specific job done, and it feels very narrow. And it's some very cool technology, and it's getting really good at accomplishing very specific tasks. But I think as AI continues to grow, it'll be more fun to talk about these general intelligences or these suite of AI agents that are all working on your behalf. And then also, like you said, across groups, which we haven't really been able to do before. Sometimes, managing consensus in a buying team or something is something that had to be done by humans. And even when we collected it, it was still felt like a little bit of a pinch point or a bias, because that one salesperson that talked to all 12 leaders in an organization is the only one with that information. The other 12 don't know what the other said, or like it becomes very small and difficult to manage, I think, where AI could be really cool, where you're talking about multiple inputs, multiple outputs, multiple agents helping solve problems that are bigger than these small, tiny slices. Did I get that right?
That's a very good explanation. And that brings us into a use case we have as well. We can share a sound recording for a pitch we have. We can share that in the description if you would like. But we have a use case for leadership employee teamwork, where the leaders, it could be the salespeople. Usually today, they're a really small group of leaders, and employees could be very stressed. They don't get to hear the news quickly. But with this dualistic AI, the board members, they can communicate with voice, and it's much easier to connect when you share the vision for the company. People can talk to their AI and say that they're interested in that, so they will be updated immediately and can be in discussions with your leaders. Sometimes you have follow-up discussions with your manager once a year. When I was employed, I want to have it once a day.
Yeah.
They were really annoyed with me. But the future, I think we will be able to have it once a day.
Yeah, I think I'm really excited about what'll be possible, and we'll zoom out further into the future later in the podcast. But I want to talk about some of the stuff that you're learning right now. Obviously, things are all up in the air. There's new tools coming out every single day. You're interviewing people on your podcast. What do you see as sort of the most exciting thing here in 2025, and what you're learning from entrepreneurs and tech startups around AI as you interview people around the world?
I'm starting to understand that people, ordinary people's vision, those who are not my guests, but the ordinary public, they're like something like 7 years in the future when they think about what AI we have today. So what AI we have today is a lot of AI in marketing and sales marketing agents that you can use to make cold calls. But then we see some apps coming in that are doing more. We have one app that can apply for hundreds of jobs for you in a single day. You just tell it what you want, and how it will help you to make your CV, and it will go out and look for those jobs. And Boardy.ai is pretty interesting. It can create relationships with new people. That's a little bit what we do with Dualistic AI as well, but on steroids. So we're hearing a lot of people starting businesses this year. A lot of people in EdTech, we have one entrepreneur, he had 5 million customers on his SaaS AI training site. So We're seeing a lot in EdTech. We have another entrepreneur doing an MBA training, also EdTech with AI supported, and they have, I think, 40,000 customers. So we're seeing people scaling up 2025, and also a lot of companies want to adopt AI and start. So we're seeing consultants wanting to approach that business, and also some people doing it with the helps of AI.
Yeah, that's a lot to unpack. One you didn't talk about, and I do want to talk about some of the marketing stuff that you've been learning, since this is the AI marketing podcast. But I kind of think about it, and it makes sense to me as sort of these rings or concentric circles. That programming is huge right now. And I know you're in a lot of the tech and build space, where it would make sense that if you're a computer programmer and you're building an AI, the first thing you want to do is get it to build other apps and programs, or be able to write and understand code and stuff. And then from there, I think the sales and marketing stuff that you're talking about is really interesting, because that's where everybody goes to monetize this, right? How do we help use it to sell more, serve more people, grow our business is probably everybody's second question. Then the third one from there, what you're seeing is this like hype wave, and these entrepreneurs of people that are saying, oh, I want to leverage this new technology to start my business, to grow something new, to leave my day job and go do something, pursue a passion that I've wanted to leave. And I think that next level is those other tech forward businesses. You mentioned EdTech is awesome. I think we see other tech forward industries that AI makes a lot of sense for. They're trying to figure it out. But I am most excited about where you're going with Dualistic AI, and some of the other people that I've talked to on this podcast already, is things like government and civic organizations or membership groups, and how do we connect more people or solve problems for people that don't have the money to invest in their own AI, like language model or something, or they're not a Google, but they're a small town or something. How can we leverage AI to help people that maybe need it the most? Have you heard any cool stories or edge cases of stuff that maybe was an AI application for something you wouldn't have expected?
Well, we have the Dualistic AI, which can help bigger teams, organizations, governments. And it's the same thing. It's about connecting people, and same thing as with marketing, that you can describe your product and images to the AI. It will go out, get you customers. You can talk to the AI about some news that you want to publish, or some regulations, some information for people, or news. And you can get those news out there because the AI will match it with people that have signaled to their AI that they're interested. So this model is something that you definitely can use for governments, countries, and it's actually one use case we have for sustainability for the UN and their SDGs. So you can use this type of an AI to cooperate and have the AI help building those teams and move them forward with project management style and holding people accountable. And it can also detect lies and scams and do the validation. That's one thing that stops big teams from functioning, is that you cannot trust and validate a lot of people. But if the AI does that for you, you can make bigger things happen. So that's our own approach for that. I've heard about Palantir. It's a US company. They're helping governments to optimize their spending and their strategies, and they have an AI platform where you can set different AI agents up to communicate with each other. And that's something perhaps Elon Musk can use in his task to make the US government more efficient. So that's some of the ideas I've heard.
That's awesome. And I love that you mentioned sustainability and stuff. Since you're in Sweden, I would love to know maybe what maybe trends or things that you're seeing in the AI industry are different internationally than in the US, where we maybe have blind spots to stuff that's happening, or things that you're hearing in Europe and stuff that maybe haven't made it over here yet?
Well, in Sweden, we see, in the US, we see a lot of people, they have their normal job and then they start a job on the side doing AI stuff. They can even create SaaS AIs. In Sweden, we have this culture when you're an employee, it's difficult to start your own company because you will always be representing your employee on LinkedIn all over the place. So that's a major difference. I really prefer the US system. I really want to be able to be an employee and still have the rest of my time to be able to pursue my dreams, have my businesses. So otherwise, I think I think we're lagging behind a little bit in Sweden. We do have the investment in Bordi from Creandum, and we see a lot of AI marketing, customers, consultants wanting to help companies to adopt AI, but still it's basically 99% individualistic, and so it's a bit disappointing. It's like 7 years ahead what people think we have, but then we have 1% or a couple of percent of really interesting AI tools and agents coming up.
So tell me more specifically about Share McFlare. It's sharemcflare.com and an AI OS, a future operating system for AI where they could maybe talk to each other without specific apps or humans wouldn't need apps to interact with the AI. What does that mean, and where we are now, and where you're going with that project?
We're going with that. It's basically the same thing as Dualistic AI. We see an AI SaaS app, which could be an alternative to Siri. So you're on Apple, you use Siri, or you're on Google, you use Alexa. But those are individualistic, and you might want something more premium. So you install the Dualistic AI. It could actually, if we pitch it to, I see potentially that Siri and Dualistic AI can be replacing the operating systems, and we will no longer have windows and web pages because it's much more efficient to communicate with voice. It's more inclusive. Everyone can do it. And so that's what we're seeing. What if we would create such an AI? Then we would compete with, then the ads will be in there, and the news will be in there, and the voice communication will be in that app. Video communication would be in that app. So then you don't use Zoom, and then you don't use messengers. You don't use CRM systems because that tool with AI will take care of that. So what we're thinking, maybe it's like operating systems, and we should teamwork with build partnerships to do like Apple did, to provide a platform for apps, entrepreneurs to do apps. So we could integrate with APIs and other agents and talk to Zoom, so that Zoom takes care of the part with video and voice communication. And we can talk to go high level, so that we work with their AI teams to enable the CRM part of this AI, helping big teams to collaborate and achieve goals. So that's the idea with AI OS.
Really cool. I could see where if we have a common operating system, if it's like the Windows of AI, where you can put, Microsoft Word or ChatGPT becomes the AI version of that to generate text, and then you have other apps running on this program to do voice and other things that you mentioned there. That's really, really cool. Now, we should talk about the marketing side of things here before we get too far along. You have the podcast, the Måns Näsman AI Entrepreneurship podcast, and I'm wondering why you chose podcasting as your primary method of marketing, and then what else have you seen as far as helpful AI marketing tools? Where do you think the most exciting AI or growth in marketing is these days?
We chose podcast. I chose podcast because I tried it out, and I immediately felt there are so many dimensions. You can inspire people. You can get inspired. It's very exciting to be on podcast and in real time communicate with really successful people. It's difficult to describe. I would recommend it to everyone. And I think it's a really powerful marketing tool as well, where text, which a lot of other medias use text is kind of slow. And here you reach out in a much faster way. And with the AI in marketing, I talked to some guests and I told them I'm entrepreneurs, I want to do marketing, and I want to reach out to 10,000 customers and have the AI helping me. And they told me, you have Apollo.io. It's a company worth $1.6 billion. They recently got $100 million in funding. So I tried out Apollo.io. It's like they have 300 million email addresses. I can do cold emailing, and I can do CRM. And it's like they have some AIs that helps you to write the cold emails. So I was a little bit disappointed because I would love to see more AI in marketing, and I've been looking for it, and I found one SaaS company. They do automatic posting on social media for you. So it creates the images and the videos, and it posts regularly on all social medias. So that was kind of interesting, their startup. So I'm looking for these type of AIs that I can use in my marketing, but
right now I think there's kind of two camps. There is the big guys like Salesforce and HubSpot and stuff are building a lot of AI tools, and we're already well down the path on marketing automation and some of the stuff that were available, but integrating a lot more cool features. The other side, like you mentioned, are these individual tools like Taplio is the one that's most common with the people that I'm talking about to kind of surface ideas for social media posts and write those posts and schedule them for you, create images and things like that. A lot of marketers I'm talking to are really just using ChatGPT to create their content, write their posts, and then they're using their manual processes to
see that too. Yeah.
schedule those out and find stuff. Zoom Info is doing some really cool stuff with their databases to find email lists, but also to track deals. If you're in a larger company, their tools that they have to use predictive analytics to tell you which deals are going to make or what's happening behind the scenes, what competitors your large enterprise accounts are talking to and stuff like that. There's some really fantastic kind of sales and marketing information. Other than that, we've kind of had A/B testing and automation and analytics and marketing for a long time. So I think it's kind of just maybe 20% better than it was a couple of years ago. But most of the tools tend to be generative AI right now, helping you amplify your voice and take something that you create in the podcast and then turn that into everything else you need: the blog posts, the social media posts, the email blasts, and white papers and things that you need to amplify. Do you have any other favorite tools you think are great for entrepreneurs? I know you interview a lot more entrepreneurs than marketers. I would love to hear what people that are trying to create a startup business find most valuable or most exciting about AI.
Yes, we have. Before that, we have another AI marketing tool. That startup, that company, they gather information from different analyzing tools, and they use AIs to create new marketing strategies. That's also an interesting company that we had a chance to interview their founder. So that's one more. There are a lot of cases out there, but it's kind of like noise. So it's a bit difficult to find the raisins, the pieces of gold, and many people use like ChatGPT, like you say. So for startups, we're still going back to the Dualistic AI, where you will be able to ask the AI to help you start up your company. It will be able to help you gather the co-founder team. And we're also really interested in finding co-founders that would love to be in our startup. So I'm reaching out to those as well. So, but I haven't seen any specific tools for startups. Actually, I think many of them are using the individual AI tools. And also they use a lot of AI marketing. They're really smart at doing AI marketing. A lot of them have executive assistants, which are AIs, and they also use cold calling AIs that can go out and connect with 6,000 people, and they come back with 600 scheduled calls. That was a small startup entrepreneur that did that. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff is really cool on Outreach. I'm wondering how kind of human first it is. I've talked to several, and I'm not sure I want my AI to make a fake LinkedIn profile, connect with people, make cold calls, and pretend to be human as an appointment setter for me. So I'm still trying to justify in my mind how some of those work. I don't know why I'm more comfortable with maybe email or automating messages than I am calling, but it feels like, at least for me personally, I wouldn't want to have a robot cold calling me. It feels very spammy. But if you're in the right spot, I could see that being very helpful. And I love what you're talking about with finding the other startups and doing research. I see a lot of like AI helping in customer research. You can do product interviews or surveys or analyze mass amounts of data to help them kind of find their product market fit or hone in on their positioning and stuff that can really help in a startup where you're trying to make a lot of decisions using AI to collect and analyze the data and visualize it as well. A lot of really cool AI tools to help create graphics, outlines, presentations. Gamma AI is one of my favorites for presentations. And if you got to make a pitch deck, you make a really cool one in like 5 minutes or less with Gamma, which is an awesome tool. Now, before I let you go, I want you to predict out into the future. If we go at least 5 years out, and you can go as far out as you want, how do you think this shakes out? I kind of agree with you that I think 2025 will be the year where we're kind of still waiting to see what takes off. There's a lot of tools out there. There's a lot of work being done and things are getting better, but it doesn't feel like maybe where we sit right now at the beginning of 2025 that this is going to be the year we declare winners in this space. So if you look far out, how do you see AI impacting humanity, and what do you think maybe some of the biggest trends or winners and losers will be?
I think there will be huge changes for humanity and human AI first. I think that we will probably have an unemployment which is zero. I think it's opposite to what everyone thinks. They think that AI will take their jobs. I think we will have zero unemployment. AI will be able to ask and help their users. It will be able to help them get activated and do good things, even if it's not a job. And AI will be able to accredit them for the good things that they do. If they help a company, AI will be able to track that and pay them in crypto or something. So that, and if you take it a few more steps forward, they could get a job. On the job market, I have some ideas that maybe we will have a lot of entrepreneurs and people team working together to help make products. So there will be some changes, I think, in company structure and the number of companies we have. It will be a lot of changes, I think, and people will be able to switch companies really easy. That might impact the stock markets if you can lose like 50% of your staff just because you have like some bad management and there are some rumors or there's something going bad or some competitor comes up with really cool stuff and then you lose 50% of your staff. What will happen to the stock? So, and I think also that loneliness will be eliminated. Old people that are super lonely today, or unemployed people, or a lot of people are lonely today, especially in Sweden. So that will turn around and AI will connect you so that the old grandpa, he can be connected and help his kids with the school and be connected to hear what's going on and be there on the same page, voicing in on the daily actions. And AI will also be able to make a lot of events happen for us. We will be on our voice. We won't be on Windows. Today we are 7 hours a day on web pages. we will be out there doing stuff together with our loved ones. So I see a bright future in 2 to 3 years.
Well, I love that. What a great way to wrap up. I found the comment about zero unemployment very interesting. I could see where it could be zero or it could be 100%. If we go out, 15, 20%, maybe nobody needs to work. But I love the way that you put it, that anybody that wants to contribute will be able to contribute. And I think that's a really cool way to think about it, that anybody that wants to have a job can make themselves useful with AI. That's brilliant. So I'm going to have to rethink that and what that means for where I want to go. How can we help you or you help us? What do you think? Final thoughts?
Do you mean your company and our company?
The people listening, how can we help you if we know of any entrepreneurs or great podcast guests, or how can we help with the sharemcflair.com project, or how can you help us, anybody listening or watching this?
Yes, how you can help us. We really want to reach out to investors in Silicon Valley. We want to build a co-founder team. I heard that the US is one of the only places that you can go into a room with just an idea, and 1 hour later you will leave with $10 million for your startup. So this is what we want to do, and we want to do it in a collaborative format and have a number of co-founders and do it together, pitching. Perhaps we will use that tool you were mentioning, pitching this in a good way with videos and whatever needed, and have a really powerful team. So that's one thing. How to help the listeners, I would just encourage you to start using AI, because I think the companies using AIs, they will win, and the ones that don't, they will have a hard time, and they will also employ you if you know AI. So as a private person, start using AIs, use ChatGPT, and also start using SaaS AI tools, and try to find dualistic AIs like Bordy. They're kind of good. Try to be open and invest in this.
I love it. Thank you so much for being on the show. Again, that's Måns Näsman. You can find him on LinkedIn. Go to sharemcflair.com to check out the project there, or look for the Måns Näsman AI Entrepreneurial Podcast, of which I was also a guest. So you can look up my episode there as well. And as for Avenue 9 and our Human First AI Marketing, you can go to avenue9.com. Don't forget to subscribe, share this episode with somebody that you think needs to hear it, and reach out if we can help you amplify your voice, your creativity, your humanity with AI. I want to do that. Until next time, keep going, everybody. Have fun.